From the American Museum of Natural History in New York City and beaming out across all of space and time, this is Star Talk, where science and pop culture collide. Chuck, I was feeling that one.
I love it. I see you feeling it.
Turning myself on. Well, I don't know. That's just, sometimes you feel the universe flowing through you.
Right on. Well, you know, that's when you're a Jedi, that happens.
So Chuck, welcome back.
It's always good to be here, Neil.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to be talking about sex.
Okay.
And and relationships.
Okay.
And dating.
I like the first part of that. The other two I can do without, but the first part is awesome.
I know you're a man. I know you have some expertise, but it's not the kind of expertise I'm looking for in this.
Okay.
So we got to bring some extra armament in on this conversation. Professor Helen Fisher, welcome to Star Talk.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Yes. You are a specialist at, what is the academic specialty that describes you?
Well, I'm a biological anthropologist,
that's 10 syllables.
Yeah.
Biological anthropologist.
Exactly. Evolution of love.
Yeah, so we're featuring today my interview with Dan Savage, who is like the online expert on love and relationships and everything that go with it. And, of course, we have a changing face of relationships today, because it used to be, I was thinking it used to be a hangout at a bar, but people still do that. So, but the internet has changed all of this, and Tinder.
Yeah.
Actually,
these are very old. In fact, we're moving forward to the kinds of relationships we had 1 million years ago.
Really?
Yeah. We're actually shedding about 10,000.
Wait. I just mentioned Tinder, which operates on a smartphone, and your next line is, we've had this since cavemen.
Yeah. Well, what do you do on Tinder?
You look swipe cave walls back in the day. First they would draw it, and then they would swipe it.
No. What they do, they swipe the actual person. But so it's old. It's just a new method. You're saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's good to know. And what we found, and you've been at this for 30 years.
Yeah, a little more.
A little more than 30
Your
years.
job or sex?
Both.
All right.
So Dan Savage, this resume is great because he puts his last name in all the names of stuff.
Right.
So he's got a column called Savage Love.
Okay.
Yeah, how could you not read that, right? And he's got the host of the Savage Love Cast. So let's look at my interview with Dan Savage, and we'll just find out, how do you become an expert sex columnist?
It was an accident. It's the kind of job you really can't run out looking for. You can't go to any university and get a degree in advice columning. I met somebody who was starting a newspaper, and I said, you should have an advice column because everybody reads them. You see that Q&A format, you have to read it.
Who was that person?
Tim Keck, who was
Why do I know that name?
He was the founder of The Onion. And so at first it was just a joke. I was gonna, because I was a gay guy and I was gonna write this advice column about straight sex for straight people. And the joke was I was gonna treat straight people and straight sex with the same contempt and revulsion that straight advice columnists like Ann Landers had always treated gay people and gay sex with.
That would be hilarious.
It was hilarious, and straight people loved it because it was a new experience for them to be treated that way. And I just started getting tons...
As the weird one.
As the weird ones. And I started getting tons of letters with real questions in them, and my fake joke, gonna do this for 6 months or a year advice column turned into, I've been doing it for 24 years, real advice column.
Do you feel qualified? This question is not about whether you're academically qualified, but just whether you're culturally qualified to advise on any combination of these gender permutations, as we would say in mathematics?
Well, the only qualification you need to give your advice is some idiot was fool enough to ask you for it. Dan Savage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
There's beauty that might attract a man. If it's female beauty, heterosexual female beauty, we think of the beauty of Helen of Troy.
Right.
And she launched 1,000 ships.
Looks do count. I mean, there's breaking points all through a relationship, and the very first thing you do is you look at them. This is why Tinder is popular.
That's why Tinder is popular.
Exactly.
Love at first sight.
Absolutely.
Is it love at first sight or is it lust at first sight?
It depends.
No, it doesn't. It's lust at first sight.
It is lust.
It's both. I mean, it's very often both. I mean, you can trigger the brain circuitry for romantic love, and then everything about a person is sexy from that moment on.
Wow.
And then you can go to bed with somebody and trigger the brain circuitry for romantic love. So,
That's so
they can be
true.
very well
So
connected.
she's got the wiring going.
Yes,
do
unless
it.
you're so drunk you can't remember it, of course, you know. Sex doesn't mean something.
I asked Dan Savage, is love at first sight really possible? Because he's got data from people trying to ask him about it. Let's check it out.
Love at first sight is one of those phenomena that is some people believe it's true because
because it would happen to them.
it jives with their personal experience.
Yeah.
And you could be with somebody where you have this like love at first sight feeling, be with them all your life, and you can say, oh, love at first sight is a true thing and it actually happens. But somebody else may have had the exact same feelings for another person who turned out to be a jerk and it didn't work out. You may have had the exact same feelings for somebody before you had your love at first sight experience.
Love at first sight, hate at second sight.
Yeah, love at first sight, hate in divorce court 15 years later.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's looking at all the data.
Not all of the data.
Well, no, but if you had love at first sight and you ended up divorced, then it's not really the
Well, it
true
could've-
love that people look for from fairy tales.
Ah, true love, that's a different issue.
Oh, okay.
But the bottom line is, it's very easy to explain love at first sight. The brain circuitry for romantic love is like the fear system. You can be scared instantly, and you can fall in love instantly.
Right.
And we really want to get to know somebody before we ever tie the knot. And so first things we get right in bed with them, you learn a lot between the sheets about somebody. And then you move into the friends
Or
with
on the pool
benefits.
table. Yeah.
Or on the-
Did I just say
I imagine that would work. So basically, you get them into bed right off the bat, and or on the pool table, whatever, and then you get the friends with benefits, and then you live together. And even with marriage, 1/3 of Americans want to have some sort of prenup agreement. So but because we are marrying so much later and really knowing the person before we do marry them, I think I'm very optimistic about the future.
So tell me about sex drive.
About the sex drive?
Yeah, because that's not love drive, that's
No.
sex drive.
Well, it's primitive, it's ancient, it's primordial, and we all carry it around in our heads and do it regularly. But I do think that animals actually love as well as no animal will copulate with anybody. Too old, too young, too scruffy, too scrubbed, wrong color, wrong shape, wrong size. They won't do it.
No, Helen, let's be honest here. No female will do it. And you know that's the truth. In the animal kingdom, the male will do anybody. The female,
I think he's right.
The female is the one who makes the decision.
Well, they
A male
often-
dog humps a tree stump. So clearly, it does not matter to the dog.
When a female in heat is not too picky either,
Yeah.
I mean, big time.
Yes,
so
I have yet to meet one of
Yeah.
those.
So sex is online now. I guess that was inevitable. And Tinder, what's that about?
Well, first of all, it actually works. Tinder actually works pretty well because the first thing you have to do anyway is look at a person, and it'll say a lot about a person when you take a look at them.
Yeah.
And then you got to go meet them. The bottom line is these are not dating sites. They're introducing sites. And when you get into the bar or into the coffee house or whatever and you sit down, the ancient human brain works the way it always has, and you court the way you did 1,000,000 years ago.
So I've been married 28 years, which means I have no idea how these dating sites work. I have no idea what Tinder is, how it works, what it is. So I got Dan Savage to explain it to me. Check it out.
So you submit a photo, as I understand it, and you say what you're looking for, age range and this sort of thing. And then there's a photo of that person, and you either say yes or no.
Swipe left or swipe right.
Yeah, okay. And if you're left-right dyslexic, that could be a problem.
And if
Okay.
you swipe them in the right direction and they swipe you in the right direction, the app hooks you up. The app introduces you.
I'm betting that the inventors of the global positioning satellite network
Never anticipated this.
never anticipated that there would be an app that localizes you on the surface of the earth to find someone else you're going to have sex with in a few hours. This is an extraordinary application.
But that's what humans always
An
do.
extraordinary application of tax money.
What humans always do with new
GPS is a
technologies.
military project by the Air Force.
We always do that with new technologies. The first use, the first adaptation of a new technology will be to the service of our sex lives and our romantic lives. And whatever it is, like the phone was considered this socially destabilizing, revolutionary, subversive creep thing because a young man could call your daughter in your house. The car, people freaked out about the car because a young couple could go be alone.
That was a big thing, the car. It was bigger than even contraceptive pills. In the 1940s, the car, it was a mobile bedroom. And it really...
Back when cars were large enough to be a mobile bedroom. Now it's like, you know, a contortionist.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I would know.
Not doing that in a smart car.
That's right, the no-sex car is what that is. So do you embrace the role of technology now in the role of dating?
Absolutely. You know, we've got this long
Says the woman who is the advisor to Match.com. Yes, okay.
No, you know, we no longer have parents who can fix us up. By middle age, you know, you've gone through people who your girlfriends could introduce you to. You've met everybody you might have wanted to meet at work, and it's cheap, it's easy, and it's safe. So why wouldn't we want to do it all through our lives?
It's just a little weird to see somebody swiping their thumb on the Tinder screen.
Right. But you know,
and I'm told there's a condition called Tinder thumb.
Oh, really?
You get Tinderitis.
Oh, I thought that was from doing something else.
But you know what? Romantic love is like a sleeping cat. It can be awakened at any moment. And that person who's just out for sex on Tinder or wherever, and I don't think they're all out for just sex, they meet the person that triggers the brain
Says the
circuitry
woman.
for romantic love, and they're off to the races on something even more powerful than sex.
That's a very interesting point. So are you saying that there is very little academics when it comes to love? In other words, love makes you stupid?
Love does make you stupid.
Love makes you stupid.
As a matter
Okay.
of fact, whole brain regions begin to shut down.
Shut down. It makes you stupid. That's what it is. There's no place else we can take this conversation